Hello and welcome to my Yu-Gi-Oh channel. Today we're going to be covering something a little bit different. This is actually to do with the motivation of one of the Duel Links producers, Akitsu Terishima, for what he plans to introduce into the Yu-Gi-Oh Zeal world. So we're just going to cover that as of now. Question 1 is, what were some challenges introducing Exceed Summoning in Yu-Gi-Oh Duel Links? The answer is integrating the Exceed Summoning mechanic wasn't much of a problem, because we had been thinking about it for a while. However, the Exceed Summoning animations took us quite a bit of time because we tossed around a lot of ideas with the team. We put a great deal of effort into the 3D summoning animations, more than ever before. I'm sure the quality of the finished product will meet your expectations, so please check it out. Question 2, how did you determine what Exceed cards were going to be released during its initial launch? And the answer is, while deciding on which Exceed monsters to include in Duel Links, we primarily focused on two things. First, we wanted players to have fun with the new experience of Exceed Summoning. Second, we wanted to surprise players with huge change that Exceed Summoning brings to dueling strategies. We believe the cards we selected will live up to your expectations, so please look forward to it. My opinion of that is actually the Exceed monsters that are currently in the game are simplistic enough for new players to introduce to. They're not complicated, they have very decent effects, some of them. And they will get a bit more advanced as the series goes on and as they release new characters, but you know, it is only the first month of release, so I can understand why they wanted to kind of limit things to that. Question 3, what were your thoughts about bringing Zeal for Western audiences? The answer is, there are fans who are already familiar with Yu-Gi-Oh! Zeal, as well as those who are not yet. With this update to Duel Links, we'd like you to have fun and experience the world of Yu-Gi-Oh! Zeal and its new characters. Yes, Zeal is, I think Zeal was series 4 of 7 that are currently existing. So it has been quite a few years since it even finished. So yeah, people are more than familiar with the characters and even the storyline of Zeal. Next question is, will there be any gameplay updates that will come with the Zeal update? The answer is, this is going to be the biggest update in Duel Links history. Exceed Summoning will have a huge impact in duels, and with that strategic evolution, you can look forward to a ton of fun gameplay. I can agree to that, because traditionally you have either kind of fusion summoning or the synchro summoning. Now with the Exceed Summoning, that means you've got a little bit more flexibility. Your opponent might be a little bit more unpredictable as to what they do, because, say, for example, they have a tuner monster and a non-tuner monster on the field. Instead of just having to use those cards for a synchro summon, they can now go into an Exceed monster if they've got the same levels to them. The next question is, what characters do you foresee coming into Yu-Gi-Oh! Zeal world? The answer is, we plan to introduce some Zeal characters shortly after the Zeal world is released. Unfortunately, I cannot reveal the details quite yet, but please look forward to future announcements. So we started off with 3 characters, which doesn't shock me. You know, they're not going to release everything at the same time, and I can't imagine that the Barrier Emperors are really going to see any kind of reveal. Well, I don't see them happening this year. They might happen within maybe February, March time, I think. You might get 1 or 2, but they won't be mass launching them out. I think there is relative confirmation that Shark is going to be one of, if not the first Zeal release, and I think that's scheduled for the end of October, maybe the beginning of November, sometime around that. So you'll get some cards and hopefully be able to unlock him at that point as well. Again, what they tend to do is they do these events where they have unlockable characters. If you don't manage to unlock them within the time, they will run an event maybe a month or 2 later on, where you get a second chance to unlock that character. If not, eventually it does get to the point where they just put that character at the gate anyway, so you can access them at any point. So don't feel too worried about if you don't catch up with some of the series or are able to complete some of the missions. They always come back with more. The next question is, are there any other characters not from the Zeal world coming to the game? The answer is, we do have plans to add some characters to rosters of other Yu-Gi-Oh! Worlds. However, I can't go into detail just yet, so please wait for further news from us. I think, from what I could see, the Volcanics were coming, Axel Brody for Yu-Gi-Oh! GX. That would make sense, considering we already have Jesse Anderson as well. It just, I would love to see more support for them as well, because I don't think any of the others have been introduced. Crocodile Cook has not been introduced, and what's his name? Not Jesse, the one with the Cloudians. He has not been introduced into the game as of yet either, I think. The next question is, will we be able to place cards in specific zones like the Yu-Gi-Oh! TCG? And the answer is, our goal is to offer a game where others can easily enjoy dueling. That is the concept of Duel Links. If we allow players to select which zones to play their cards in, the duels will take much longer, so currently we are not considering this change. I can understand it for the time being. They don't really have any zone occupying cards that benefit. I think there's a couple of Mech Knights out there that do benefit from this strategy, but until some of the more mainstream cards come out, I don't see the plan going that way. Considering you've got 3 zones in both the monsters and the spell and traps zones, that's why they're not going to be doing it. So yeah, I can understand that for the time being. Next question is, are there any menu, deck building, or other design updates coming with the Zeal update? And the answer is, we have plans to update and improve the user interface, both for playability and user friendliness. So again, whenever they do these events, they do try and ask for feedback. So if you want to, you can do that if you have the time. Remember, it's all for increasing your experience, so the more feedback you're able to provide them, the more likely they are, if they see a demand for it, to be able to supply it. The next question is, are there any new Yu-Gi-Oh! Zeal events that we can look forward to? The answer, I can't reveal details about that just yet, and I'm sure Yu-Gi-Oh! Zeal fans have very high hopes. So let me assure you that our plans for upcoming events live up to your expectations. Please keep an eye out for announcements of the event details, as well as information on which characters are added to the roster. Again, with it being a new world, they're not going to be providing too many details. I think the only event confirmed for them is the Shark event, and who knows what cards he's going to introduce. I know it will be Shark cards, but whether there's going to be any numbers added, hopefully number 17 will be introduced, but I don't think number 32 will be introduced in this first event with him. And the final question is, any last surprises for the Yu-Gi-Oh! Zeal world that we can look forward to? The answer is, with this update, we are adding a new Yu-Gi-Oh! World, new characters that you can duel with, and the newly implemented Exceed Sending mechanic. We are working hard as a team to introduce these exciting elements to you. We hope you'll love this new update. So what have you thought about the new Zeal world? Has this been something that has lived up to your expectations, or do you think it's quite weak at the moment? Whatever you think, leave your comments down below, like the video if you enjoyed it, and don't forget to subscribe for more daily Yu-Gi-Oh! Content.